Hello and welcome to Whiskey Resource. My name is Mark. This is review 150 and this is a alternate reality. It has to be because in my 18-year-old whiskey showdown, bland dram sampling, top of the leaderboard we have the Dalmore 18 is top, and at the bottom of the leaderboard we have one of my all-time favourite distilleries, the Glen 18, which is just, and Johnnie Walker is in second place above Talisker. Bizarre. I mean, really bizarre. I can't quite predict what's going to happen today, so we'll just get straight to it and we'll pick a dram out and be done with it. So, put this down there. As ever, I can see from the colour of this one that actually looks quite dark, so the kind of the blue Glencairn, the red Glencairn thing doesn't necessarily make an awful lot of difference in this case, but it could be coloured, as always. Could be coloured. Hat. I've got a feeling this one's sherried because I'm getting quite a sherry off the nose coming off that glass straight away. So a bit of water in there. My last video, as I say, it was the Johnnie Walker 18. Had 4 people unsubscribe me. I don't talk about subscribers, I don't talk about liking and clicking the bell notification on my videos often, because to be honest it doesn't really bother me. If you want to subscribe, it's perfectly up to you. I'm not going to request that you do so, but thank you if you have. On the nose, this is sherried. Yeah, this is a sherry. I would say it's sherry matured, not even finished. This is a sherry matured whiskey, and I'd probably go as far as to say that this could be the GlenDronach 18, which I know I've got. I know it's still in the box. Yeah, that's sherried. But this could also be the wild card that I said that's not an 18-year-old that's in the box. Anyway, on the nose, I say it's sherried. It's rich, fruity, dark fruits. You know the kind. There's a bit of spice there, but there's definitely oak coming through. As for any smoke or peat, I'm not getting anything like that. ABV, it's not really giving us an awful lot beyond maybe a 43%. I'm just going to switch to this one. Oh, that's a lot more woody. So even that, just a little bit of water that I pour in there straight away, that's giving us a bit more oak. But this is sherried. It's rich. It's quite dense. I'm maybe getting a little bit of earthy dunnage. I'm getting a little bit of apple and pear, which I said is a bit of a theme for these 18-year-olds. But I'm not really getting any of that rye element that I previously had. Not yet anyway. On the palate. Oh, that's lovely. That is glorious. That's fantastic. That is absolutely amazing. So it starts rich and oily, with a syrupy texture in the mouth, coating. It's juicy, rich fruitcake, fruits with fruitcake, and the spices. It is definitely a sherried whiskey. This one, 100% sherried. It's got some earthiness to it, some dunnage to it. It's got that wood, the oak, and the oak does start up here quite early on. It does add a drying quality to it, a bit of bitterness, a bit of tannin, but never really gets over the top. Never really accelerates into that really woody aspects of a flavour that a lot of these 18-year-olds seem to have. There's leather. There's damp cardboard, a bit of that dungeness. I'm not getting any sulphur, no off, like baby sick, off milk, struck match, nothing like that that you can typically get on sherry whiskies. It's got a bit of bitterness to it on the finish. I'm starting to get ginger and dark chocolate, maybe a touch of a creamy espresso on the finish. This has to be the GlenDronach. ABV, it is coming across a bit hotter than the nose, so this is probably a 46%. This was sent to me, if it is the GlenDronach, it was sent to me as a sample, as part of a dram swap. I'll say once I've checked my notes who sent this at the end of the video, if it is the GlenDronach, because that's what I'm saying this is, GlenDronach 18. That is a fantastic thing. This would have been sent to me before the infamous GlenDronach removal of non-chill filtration off the boxes, off the labels. So this is before that era. So this would have been, not to say they are chill filtering, but this was that before that era. So this would definitely be non-chill filtered if it's GlenDronach. That is really nice. With regards to would I buy any, this is a difficult one, because for all I say this is great, this is really nice, and yes, this is top of my leaderboard, without a doubt. This is now top. As a sherried whiskey, this is not offering anything more than I can't pick up for half the price of the GlenDronach 18, if that's what this is. I think the GlenDronach 18, I think I want to call it the Allardyce, I think. You're looking maybe £90, something like that for it, which is a good price for an 18-year-old whiskey, without a doubt. But having tried it now, I would buy it simply for being an 18-year-old whiskey, to have an 18-year-old sherried whiskey in. But I wouldn't be buying for what it actually gives me on nose and palate. I can buy a cask strength 12-year-old sherry whiskey for less than that, and it'll offer the kind of similar palate nose. Anyway, let's move on to the water. We'll see what we'll get on there. So I'm getting more dunnage. I'm getting, maybe it's revealed a bit of lemon and a bit of honey, caramel and vanilla, with that sherry. But that sherry's dropped back a bit to allow those other notes to come forward. There is a bit more oak on the nose. I think the nose with water is more expressive. It's a nicer nose with water, definitely. And I think this has got more to give with the nose on the palate. That's tamed a lot of those sherry notes. It's brought out the oak a lot more. It's brought out the oak spices a lot more. It's brought out more tannins. It's brought out more bitterness, more drying qualities. So this is a strange one in that the nose with water is nicer than without. The palate with water isn't as nice as neat. That's still tasty, but I prefer it without. But that's generally my thing. A lot of whiskies I try, I prefer neat, even cask strengths, except for bourbons. There's some cask strength bourbons are just ridiculous, and you need to put water in, otherwise you'll be like a mummy. You'll be sucked in cheeks. Enjoy that one. Right, so I'm saying GlenDronach 18. I hope it isn't the GlenDronach. I hope this is something else that it's opened my eyes to something else. I've never had GlenDronach 18, so I really don't know. So I've relabeled this. I don't think it is GlenDronach 18. Oh no, tell I. No, I think it is. I think I've covered I've covered the original label with my own label, which I need to peel back. So this could well be the GlenDronach 18. That label's peeling off.
Let's try this side. See what we've got.
Yeah. The GlenDronach 18 Allardyce, about 46% ABV. Well, this is definitely top of the leaderboard. And it's top of the leaderboard by quite some way. But I do love sherried whiskies, particularly when they're this good. As I say, whether I buy a bottle or not, I'm going to pause, do a bit of research, come back as always. So I'm back after quickly having a look online. I've got Masters of Malt. That's kind of the default I go to. There's the GlenDronach 18. It is bottled at 46% ABV. It is called the Allardyce. Now, it is out of stock on Masters of Malt, which are selling for £104.60, which is above my £100 ceiling limit on an individual bottle, which is unfortunate. But then again, as I say, whilst it is a really nice whiskey, and if you can spend that kind of money on a bottle of whiskey and you don't mind paying that for something like this, then it's a great buy. But it's a little bit more than I'd pay. In terms of its description, it's named after the distillery's founder, James Allardyce. This Highlander whiskey was matured completely in Oloroso sherry casks and was originally released in 2009, following the distillery changing hands back in 2008. An exceptionally fruity sherried single malt. And tasting notes, sherry notes so thick you need a knife to cut them. There's a hint of old rum in there too, with pineapple and brown sugar in tow. Not sure about the pineapple and brown sugar. Yeah, I'd probably see the brown sugar in hindsight. Palate Christmas cake, rum again. Chocolate coated hazelnut, runny honey, and a hint of sauterne. The finish, blackcurrant blueberry pancakes with a generous helping of maple syrup. Right, well, no. It is a nice thing, and I know a lot of people go nuts for it. But you have to put these things into context, that at that price, £104.60, there's an awful lot of really good whiskies you can buy for less. So if you go to, for example, whiskybroker.co.uk, you can pick up a bottle of 12-year-old Ardmore. It's single cask strength. It is one of only 266 bottles, 50% ABV. That retails for $39.50 as an example. In terms of the casks, that was in a refill bourbon in 2009, and then pour into a refill sherry cask in June 2018, where it was left for 3 years in refill sherry. And I know for a fact that is going to be a lovely bottle. So that's just one example of a whiskey that, whilst not sherry matured, is going to provide something nice. Anyway, enough of me ranting on. Laters.